The dark side of critical thinking is that you're never sure of anything. Hi, my name is Lukas. I'm a tech lead at a big German tech firm and a systems thinker as well as a critical thinker. And this is my experience with critical thinking, that if you overextend yourself with it, you stop being sure of anything. But today I want to reframe the concept of doubts to you a little bit and share my experience, how it can be useful and when to stop doubting yourself or stop doubting something. So there's a point at which critical thinking leads to diminishing returns, when you need to stop critically thinking and have some trust, actually. So, of course, we know that critical thinking is an important skill to have. It's an important ability, and we try to teach it to as many people as possible with more or less success. But those doubts that are created when you start to think critically, if you start to question things around you or inside of you, they can lead to breakthroughs. They can lead to new learning. If you're never doubting anything, then you won't find the places where you are unsure, where you have limited information or where you have insufficient knowledge. And this is a tool that, doubts can be to us. If we have doubts in certain areas, then this is a sign that we should dig deeper in this direction and find solutions, find new knowledge, maybe find proof, make experiments to rule out the doubt that we have. On the other hand, it's been my experience that especially if you're a very open person and you have critical thinking ability, then you will never be sure of anything. So even if there's a lot of proof for something, maybe scientific proof, maybe proof of other areas, you always can still question it, and this might lead even to something like conspiracy theories. That's why they exist. People just doubt everything, even if it's a well-known fact. You can doubt it. If you can pose a question, then you can doubt everything. So the question is, when should you stop questioning something and stop doubting something and start trusting the data that you have? For me, it's been the experience that some of the doubt will always stay with me because I'm a very open person. I accept information that comes into my head quickly and start to think if it's really applicable or not. I don't accept it as true initially or immediately, but I at least accept to hear it, to put it into my system, so to speak, and then mill it through and compare it to what I already know. And this is a process that is sometimes very tedious because there's a lot of information nowadays. And if a lot of information comes crashing down on you that you have to then weave out, then it gets old very quick because you realize that 90% or 95% of new information is either irrelevant to your case or not really true at all, or maybe over simplified or exaggerated or something like this. So there's a certain level where you should stop, or a certain point where you should stop questioning. And in my opinion, this point is reached when doubting something won't yield any further improvements. So if you're starting to doubt something that is 90% or 95% good and helpful, just to get those last 5% right, then you will probably just break the 95% in pursuit of those 5% if you're not sure. It's like taking apart your whole car because you hear some new noise that isn't causing any problems. So if there's some noise that's problematic, okay, but if it's just like maybe the brakes or some form of band is squeaking a little bit, it happens sometimes and you can't really do much about it, but you could just take apart the whole car and not be able to drive around a car for, I don't know, 5 months until you put it back together and still have the squeaking sound. So this is what my experience is in a lot of cases. Don't destroy a good thing just because you have some doubts. Instead, if it's really something worth doing, worth trusting, then trust it and accept that there will always be a certain amount of doubts that you go through, that you experience, that you feel, especially if you have critical thinking ability and you have a lot of openness. Maybe it's then time to work on another ability. It's the ability to trust and the ability to have faith in something. Because like I said, everything can be doubted. So in every case, you need a certain amount of faith or trust that the people that did this work, did this research, they were trustworthy, that they did their thing good, and that the results that they yielded are worthwhile. So anyway, this was the idea that I wanted to share today. This is the dark side of critical thinking or even of systems thinking, because you can't always overlook everything. But there is a way to deal with this. And in my opinion, it's having a little bit of faith here and there. It will save you from having too much existential dread as well. Like nihilism comes from disassembling everything and then having nothing at all in the end. It's something I talk about in another video about perfection or about accepting imperfect solutions. You can check it out on my channel as well. And I hope to see you in another video. Bye.